Learning to play a musical instrument takes hard work, practice, and patience, and more practice. And that can be such a drag. The devil is believed to be very fond of music, which is not surprising. After all, he does have all the best tunes. Lucifer is said to have a special affinity to stringed instruments, particularly violins and guitars. In exchange for just one soul, any condition, the Prince of Darkness can teach you how to really play the guitar. He can make you a star. Welcome to Top 10 Event YouTube channel. Subscribe, like and bell the notification button to get new videos. Top 10 musicians who sold their soul to the devil. Number 10. Jimmy Page Best Solo. Legendary Led Zeppelin guitarist, Jimmy Page was a student of occultism for a while. He bought Lester Crowley's old home in Loch Ness, which he believed was haunted. He often talked about the strange experiences he had there. He followed Crowley's occultist teachings about focusing your intentions on what you want to get out of life. Apparently Jimmy just wanted to play a mean guitar, and he certainly got that wish. Lots of people claimed that he had sold his soul to the devil to get such fast fingers. To which Page replied that if had, then so had the rest of the band. Number 9. The Devil's Violinist Paganini. It could have been that, of course, or it could have been the hours of practice and his Number 8. Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson's is probably the most famous soul in the devil's collection. Sometime during the 1930s he said to have met the devil, allegedly at the Clarksdale Crossroads. He was said to have been a decent harmonica player, but a terrible guitarist. Then he disappeared for a few weeks. He is supposed to have taken his guitar to the crossroads in Mississippi, where the devil retuned his guitar and gave him a few lessons. When he returned, his terrible guitar technique was now described as formidable and Robert Johnson died in 1938, at the age of 27. The rumor became a fact, and Johnson is now known officially as the Devil's Bluesman. Number 7. Giuseppe Tartini. Giuseppe Tartini is said not only to have sold his soul to the devil, but also to have composed a song with him. Trillo del Diavolo, or the Devil's Trill, came to Tartini in a dream. The music came to him, he said, after his dream self he had also sold his soul. He failed to check the small print on the deal, however, because the music he wrote down when he awoke was not as complex as the devil's tune. Perhaps that's just as well, however, as the Devil's Trill is said to be one of the most technically demanding pieces for violin ever written. Although he was a very accomplished musician, he soon discovered that he was not really good enough to play his own tune, and so he had traded his soul for a tune he could not play. Number 6. John Lennon. John Lennon is famous for saying that the Beatles were bigger than Jesus. So we already knew he was a blasphemer. One Beatles scholar, however, has spent years interpreting hidden messages and symbols in John Lennon's music, artwork and album covers, and he believes that he has evidence that Lennon actually sold his soul to the devil. Lennon allegedly signed his pact with Lucifer sometime around December 1960, shortly before the first known outbreak of that well-known viral disease, Beatlemania. If true, it seems particularly hard on Lennon, as the other three band members presumably managed to keep their souls intact while still sharing the glory. Lennon was promised 20 years of success before the devil reclaimed his own. Number 5. Snoop Dogg. Usually these devil-soul transactions are shrouded in secrecy. Occasionally, however, a performer comes along who is happy to talk about it, or even sing about it. Snoop Dogg admits that at the time he was in a dark place, when he heard a voice say, "Bring your lifestyle to me, I'll make it better." Mr. Dogg asked how long he would live, and the voice cried back,
"Damn, I say dear Lord, I wonder can you save me? I can't die, my oops, about to have my baby. I think it's too late for breaking. Hold up, my voice spoken again, it's no story saying
eternal and forever. Sounds like a good deal. There is some evidence that the artist at first believed that he was making a pact with God, but was tricked by the devil. Or perhaps it's just a song. Number 4. The Rolling Stones. In 1968, the Rolling Stones released a new album that confirmed every parent's darkest suspicions. Rock and roll was indeed the devil's music. The opening song of Beggar's Banquet was, of course, Sympathy for the Devil. Keith Richards told Rolling Stone magazine that some people saw them as acting as unknown agents of Lucifer, while others think we are Lucifer. Either way, they were trouble. Some of their fans, however, really bought into the Satanic Majesties thing, the title of their previous album. In particular, the Hells Angels lapped it up. If it was possible for an illegal biker gang to have an official anthem, Sympathy for the Devil was it. They provided security for the Stones at Altamont Free Music Festival. Number 3. Philippe Musard. Philippe Musard was a French musician, composer, and conductor who was known as much for his colorful life as he was for his concerts, which is saying something. Because the concerts were said to be chaotic, riotous affairs, Philippe Musard was the rock star of the 19th century. He certainly had theatrical flair and loved to shock his audience. Musard was the first conductor to stand up during his performances, and the first to fling his arms around wildly. He was phenomenally successful, and Parisian confectioners even sold his effigy in chocolate. While he conducted, he was said to pull strange faces, and to look almost possessed with his wild gesticulations. It may have been this that led to the persistent rumor that Musard had made a pact with the devil. Number 2. Tommy Johnson. Tommy Johnson was a blues musician and is the man credited with starting the rumor that Robert Johnson had sold his soul at the crossroads. Which is odd, because before that rumor got around, it was thought that Tommy had done the exact same thing. Tommy Johnson was one of the most influential bluesmen in Mississippi during the 1920s and 1930s.
I don't care you go, just everybody else. Crying on shining, my bag don't on this, and on this. Every time you put in mama low, so you're shining, my bag.
His older brother Lennon was teaching him how to play the guitar when, as a young teenager, Johnson ran away from home to the Mississippi Delta. When he returned 2 years later, he was an expert guitar player. Lennon Johnson claimed that his brother had met a mysterious figure at a crossroads. The stranger tuned his guitar for him, after which he could play like, well, the devil. Which exactly story what Tommy said about Robert Johnson. Number 1. Bob Dylan. In 2016, Bob Dylan was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. It was pretty much a surprise to everyone. Except, perhaps, Bob. He explained in an interview, "It's a destiny thing. I made a devil's bargain and I'm holding out my end." Well, that seems pretty conclusive. It shouldn't have come as a surprise though.
Hands here and nickel, hands here and dime. Ask you what it meant if you're having a good time. And he finds you every time you slam the door. I ain't gonna work for man.
Bob Dylan, apparently, died on July the 25th, 1965. Coincidentally, that was the same day that he walked on stage at the Newport Folk Festival stage with an electric guitar. An electric guitar. At a folk festival. To make it worse, he was accompanied by a rock band and they launched into a decidedly UN folky rendition of his new song, Like a Rolling Stone.